actionable insights through analytics for scouting and performance assessment. So over to you.
Thanks so much. So first of all, welcome everybody, and thanks for joining me here in today my speech. My name is Can Erdoğan, actually, like Emre Can, so that's how it's pronounced. I'm from Turkey, and today I will be talking about the use of data analytics in recruitment and performance for football clubs. Cool. So first things first, we have this agenda today, and I want to make 2 points. The first bit is going to be a bit rushed and a bit boring, but when we get to the sample use cases and reporting, things will start to get interesting, and I will invest much more time in this bit. So forgive me if I feel a bit rushed in the beginning, but the more important stuff is in the simple use cases and reporting. And secondly, I'm sure you will have a lot of questions for me, and I'll try to spare some time at the end for a few questions. But if you don't get a chance, feel free to grab me afterwards, and then we can chat, and I can answer your questions. And obviously, not only questions, for challenges as well, because football is a very subjective sport. So, a little bit of introduction about myself. First of all, I've completed my bachelor's degree in the USA in engineering, and completed my master's in business analytics in the UK. But I've always been, football has always been a passion for me. So I also did some coaching, very preliminary coaching football in FA Level 2 in the UK. My work experiences, when I was a student, I volunteered at Philadelphia Union Football Club as a scout. And then in the UK, when I moved to London for my master's, I worked at Crystal Palace as a scouting analyst intern for a season long, 15-16 season. And now, currently, through my business, I am working at Google in London and providing full-time data analytics service as a senior data analyst lead through my business. And combining my football knowledge, my football passion, as well as my technical expertise in data analytics, I have founded Recalculated Analytics in 2016, so it's a very fresh startup. The main goal of the company is to provide football analytics to scouting and performance departments at football clubs. So if you ask me, what does your company do in a nutshell? I would say, we are doing everything in between raw data into visualization. So raw data cleaning, integrating different sources, creating reports, and visualizing it in a way that football clubs and analysts understand. All right, so a little bit of introduction. As I said, today each Opta-coded match contains around 2,000 data points, and that comes up in one season. If you make these estimates, 350 matches, 35 leagues, 2,000 data points, that's a lot of data, 24.5 million data points. And that's only the Opta event data that we use. We primarily focus on. We don't do video data, rather event data primarily from Opta. But what we do is we also enrich the data from external sources or internal sources. What are external sources? It could be GPS tracking, Transfermarkt, or internal sources like clubs' own data sets on players, maybe on referees, on stadiums, or it could be anything really. And one of the features of the company is that we are able to merge these data sets quite cleanly. And two main areas, as I mentioned, we do provide services in performance and recruitment. Performance is one of the areas, as I said, identifying insights from data lead teams. So in order to lead teams to victory in the short and long term, lots of things can be done with the use of data: player, team, league, and season analysis. We can find out about the strengths and weaknesses of players and teams. For example, which area of the pitch of a goalkeeper is most vulnerable against shots on target. How about in free kicks and penalties? We can do great analysis on that, one-off analysis. We can understand team dynamics. We can understand league characteristics. If a player is performing great in Russian league, for example, or in Norwegian league, is he also going to perform at the same level in the Premier League or in Ligue 1 in France? we can look at top performance of the season in all aspects, in all areas of statistics. So what we do is like I said, we do work with statistical data analytics. But maybe 70% of the focus of data analytics in recruitment. It's very important, very, very important, because as you can see, there's lots of data. And there's lots of matches being played around the world, and there's thousands of players. It's not physically or financially possible for a football club to send scouts to everywhere, to every match, or even make the scouts watch video footages every day. So why this is important? We can shortlist a big pool of players into smaller pool of players. That saves a lot of time and money, and we can understand the players' characteristics and playing styles much, much better. And again, this saves a lot of time and money. So what can be done? Criteria-based scouting features, shortlist high performance. We can explore undiscovered young talents when they're very, very young. So football is also becoming an investment business as well. Lots of clubs are buying players, and they don't even play in that club. They get loaned out and they play in different clubs. And the club that originally purchased the player makes a good investment. If it becomes a good player, then they can sell it for a much higher price. And we can also analyze player suitability based on playing styles, player position, team formation, and like I said, league difficulty. All of this will make much more sense when I go into the use cases. Okay, so Realmetric analytics features. There's lots of features, but I'm going to focus on two different features here. One of them is integration of sources. What we do is we enrich the data. We don't only get the data from Opta, or the club gets the data from Opta or any other sources. We enrich it. We add lots of different information into it. What can it be? It can be as simple as player bio, their age, height, nationality, preferred food. This doesn't sit in the current Opta event data. Opta expected goals. This is a different data source, but we can merge it very easily. Club's own training and GPS data. It could be market value from Transfermarkt or even Football Manager. I know some clubs value that as well. So they all go sit under one platform. The other aspect of data enrichment is recalculated metrics. It can be as simple as pass success, and you don't need an analyst to calculate the pass success. But this is one of the examples. It can be as simple as successful passes per 90, goals scored minus expected goals. So these are all metrics that are easy to calculate, but it can be as comprehensive or as sophisticated as a match rating, which is our match rating current model, statistical model that measures the performance of a player in one match. Of course, this is not important when you look at in one match, but when you expand this into a week, a month, or a season, this is gonna give you a great understanding of how the player is performing. So we believe, and it looks something like this. Of course, it's encrypted, but it can be as complex as this one. So that's what I'm trying to say. And we believe that it's one of the most comprehensive and sophisticated match ratings systems in the football industry. So we really believe in that. But I will focus more on match rating when I show you the use cases. And at the end, similar to these ones, we add over 150 new recalculated metrics into our reporting platform. So, sample use cases and reporting. But before that, I have a question for you. Can you guess who this player is? All right, so don't worry about understanding the dashboard, but I will show you in a nutshell what it's showing. So this is a player. The name is hidden. I'm going to want you to guess that. But he has a match rating of 7, which is quite high according to our model. He has played he's in Turkish league, because I'm from Turkey. Last season, he also plays in Turkish league this season. He played in all of the 34 matches. And he has scored 17 goals, and he has 8 assists. He had 8 assists last season. This is the timeline, how he has performed. His good at scoring goals, he's good at aerial duels, he's good at shots. Like I said, don't worry about the bar charts in below, but this is showing how he is performing in each area of the statistics. The more right on the bar, the better he is. So do you have any guesses, or should I just move on? Cool. I'll give you a little hint. He's played in a not very well-known team, Çaykur Rizespor. They finished 11th in the Turkish league season last year, and this year, this guy transferred to Fenerbahçe for 3.5 million euros, which is an affordable price for a football club, for a top football club. This guy is Vedat Muric. It's a coincidence that Kosovo, he's from Kosovo, and England played against Kosovo yesterday, and Vedat Muric, Kosovo scored 3 goals against England, and Vedat Muric had 2 assists and 1 goal. And this guy has come up as a very high potential player last year in our system. Again, don't worry about the report. I will talk more about it later. And this is his this year's statistic. Fenerbahçe played 3 matches, and he's done really great so far in 2 goals in 3 matches. All right, let's start. So what I will show you here is a simple case of a reporting tool or dashboard that we provide to football clubs. Let me explain what the dashboard is showing. So here we have a pool of players. And at top we have a filter bar, competition, leagues, season, position, time played, and all the other ones. And on the right-hand side, we have a list of players. So don't worry about this too much. But what the chart is showing us, it's showing us the market value from Transfermarkt. So this is one of the examples of data enrichment, integration of sources. So this is integrating Opta data and Transfermarkt data. And below match rating. So it's taking the average of a match rating of the players that we have in this pool. So what I'm going to do now is, this is an animation. Let me get this. Oops. Cool. Let me try again. If not, they will take care of it. Okay, cool. So what we're doing is, we're choosing all the leagues we want to see. I'm not going to change anything. All of the leagues I want to see. Seasons, I only want to include maybe 2018 and 2019, and also 2019 season, which is applicable for Brazilian league, Swedish league, such as these leagues. General position, I want to be more in detail, so I'm going to choose offensive players. I want my player to have played at least 900 minutes, which is equivalent to almost 10 matches. I want to look at high-performing players, so I'm going to set my average match rating to 7. I'm not going to spend over 20 million euros. My budget is 20 million, so my maximum budget I set to 20 million. And I don't want to look at older players, so I set my age to 30. So the maximum of age of players that you will see is 30. So in the end, this dashboard is giving me 42 players according to my criteria that are showing high performance in 2018 and 2019 season, and also have low market value that we can actually set him as a target. Funnily enough, Teemu Pukki comes up in this dashboard as a potential player, according to my criteria. So this is a very simple use of a dashboard that we provide. It's very useful, very simple, but it's really effective, especially for recruitment. So if I go next, again, I know this is a lot to take in, so don't worry about understanding the dashboard quite a lot at the moment. But what it's showing us is it's giving us a list of players with some stats and some information. This is a weekly notification report. What it does is it flags some players, in this case 55 players, for this particular week, according to my criteria. I want to look at high potential players and worthy looking players, not only the ones that performed great in that week's match, but also they are also performing great for the rest of the season. So let me explain some metrics here. We talked about match rating. We have this match rating for this week's match, which is this one. And then this L4MR is, again, it's a match rating, but it's an average match rating of the previous 4 matches. So it's important for us to see this so that not only the ones that performed great in the current match, but they've also been performing great in the previous weeks. And also we have SMR, which is the average match rating for the current season. And what this weekly player notification report does is I am setting all of these metrics into certain criteria. For example, match rating of 8.5 over 8.5, and last 4 years match rating is 6.75, and similarly season match rating 6.5. So this is a list of really worth-looking high potential players that clubs receive every week, or if there's a midweek fixture, after the midweek fixture. It's very important for clubs to be aware of what's going on in the football world and identify the young talents or important players. And as I mentioned, with scouts, sending them physically into watch matches or watch video footages, it's not really possible. This is a much faster, much cleaner way to look at players. We also have other stats here. MOM is man of the match. Man of the match is calculated as looking at the highest match rating in a match. Man of the team is calculated looking at the highest match rating in one team. And LA is the list of appearances. So they're all here. This information is all here on top of the regular stats we have: goals, expected goals, assists, key passes, and it goes further to the horizontally. So what I'm trying to say is only with a simple match rating model that we provide, you can do so much to identify good players in recruitment. So this was one of the examples for data enrichment and recalculating metrics. Here I have another animation, another video. This is one of the examples, and what I want to emphasize here is to show the dynamism of the dashboard. So this is a visualization tool. I use Tableau and a few other visualization tools, but this one is Tableau. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's one of the best in the industry. This is a simple match report, the cover page of a match report. It's very high level. What it's showing, this is an example of a match in Turkey recently, Kayserispor against Galatasaray. I chose this match because it's quite interesting because we have 4 red cards and 3 goals after the 85th minute. So it's a crazy match. And what you see is the starting 11, their match ratings, team statistics. Over here for Kayserispor, this is expected goals timeline. So this will show you how the team or what kind of pressure, which team is having the most pressure in which minute towards the game, during the game. And again, the same stats, team stats for the team, players, and then shots on goal, shots on pitch, and then the best performance on each area of statistics. Like I said, this is just a cover page, not very detailed, just for visually appealing purposes. Let me play this. Okay, here we go. Yeah, and like I said, it's a live dashboard. It's very interactive and very dynamic. You can go hover over and get more information on each of the player. You can look at these shots individually. We also have a filter bar here. You can choose any match from any any league that we have the data for any week. It's very easy. It takes seconds. Now I'm gonna go into another match that week in the Turkish league, and it takes a few seconds to load because the data is quite big. But now it's showing me another match with the same template, same information, but particularly for this match. So this is how dynamic the reporting platform is. You're familiar with this. The first one I showed you for Vedat Muric was a player profile report. Right now I took another example from Henry Onyekuru. He's moved to Monaco this transfer season, but this is his data from last season. Again, a timeline of his performances. He's performed quite well over the weeks last season. This shows us which positions he's played, and again, how he's doing in each area of the statistics. Again, don't worry about understanding these metrics, but what I want to show here is, again, the dynamism of the platform. Again, any player can be chosen from any league that we have the data for. Dimitri, do you mind playing the video? Sorry. On the previous slide, yeah. What I want to show you is you can get a lot more information. The first one was the Nigerian players in the league. This is team of the Man of the Match award, and this is the yellow cards in the leagues. It's a live dashboard. You can not only look at this player, but also compare this player with other players in the league in the current season. Right now, I'm looking at goals per 90. He's done really well, but how are the other players doing? And this is the average of goals per 90. So he's way above the average for goals per 90. And again, it's very live. I want to look at only the first half of the season, the first 17 weeks, and I choose this, and then everything gets adjusted, all the metrics, even the rankings of the tables. For example, goals per 90, this is now giving me the best performance for goals per 90 for weeks 1 and 17. So in this example, he is ranked 19. He had 0.47 per 90 goals. He had 6 goals in total in the parentheses, and in the square brackets, it's the rank that he is in. So in the list, you can see as well, he is ranked 19th. So you can see the top ones as well, who's the best in this aspect. So in seconds, you can gather a lot of information. Sometimes you need to get a bit of dirty. This is a dirty bit of work, and this kind of a dashboard wouldn't be used in any kind of industry in real life because let's face it, there's lots of data, and there's lots of that you need to look at. But again, football is not like any other industry. So sometimes we need this. Analysts in the clubs will use this quite a lot to learn about a player, their playing style, what kind of characteristics they have statistically, and everything. Like what are the best performing traits and weaker traits of a particular player. But this one example is a scouting in-search platform, very important for the recruitment department. Let's say I have a pool of players, for 35 leagues, let's say, and all of the players are in this dashboard. I am looking at 2018-2019 season, only for defensive midfielders, center midfielders, attacking midfielders, wingers, and strikers. So what a recruitment analyst do is, okay, great. I can see all the players now, right? They are sorted according to their match rating. I can see the highest goal scorers, and sort on. And by the way, you can click any of these metrics. For example, let's go to tackles, interceptions, and recoveries. It's sorted by tackles won. So this is the highest tackle won player. By the way, this is a mock data, and also it's filtered, so it doesn't actually show you the best tacklers all around the world. But if I want to look at the best interceptors, all I would do is click on this, and the sorting will change in the table. But the main focus of this report is what you see at the bottom here in the search criteria. So if you go, oh, sorry. Okay, here. So again, I'm looking at 2018-2019 season, minimum 10 matches played, because I don't want to see a player that played 2 matches only, for example. I have a filter bar on the right-hand side. You can set your 10 matches played to 10 here, but you also have lots of other criteria or filters for statistical metrics. In this case, for simplicity, I only chose 5. So what are my examples? I want to look at a player, an attacking player, that has a high shots per 90. So I set it to 1. So this player will have at least 1 shots per 90 minutes. But I also don't want a striker or an attacking player that has a high shot. I want him to be a high rate, with a high shot success rate. So I set my shot success rate to 60%. Similarly, I want this player to have a good pass success. Again, I set my pass success to 60. I want this striker or attacking player to be involved in the attacking play. Not only score like a pivot centre-forward, but also be involved in the attacking play, have open peak play key passes. So I set my open play key passes per 90 over 1. Last two ones, I want this guy to have a high dribbling traits, so I set my dribbles per 90 to 2, and I want this guy to be a fighter, somebody that gets involved in duels. So I set my duels 1 per 90 to 3. So according to my criteria, the platform is giving me 10 different players, and then what you can do is, this is all the players according to my criteria. Very easy, in seconds it takes. What else you can do is you can compare and contrast, look at these different statistical metrics, really learn about them. You can choose one player and then we will highlight for the other charts. You can learn everything about this particular player and you can compare this player. For example, Kingsley Coman was the player and the second one was Keita, so from Inter last season. So you can compare this, how they are against each other and over time as well. And not only about their match rating, but for any statistics that you see here or any other metrics really. I assume, are we good on time? 1 minute. Okay, I'll be very quick. So these are just very small examples and simple examples. There's lots of other reporting that we provide, and shot heat maps, shots on targets, team of the week, team of the month, team of the season, any combination, and timeline of the shots, formation analysis, and everything. What I want to summarize is it's a very dynamic reporting platform. But what we provide, not only these platforms or these reports, it's a tailored data support and consultancy. So we act towards the requirements and needs of a football club, and we're very flexible. So any of these reportings that you see, it can be customized, and it will be a custom new report for each club. And even the match rating, not only the reporting, even the match rating is customizable and flexible. So, to finish off, data analytics is a football's rising star, but even data needs a good manager. I really like this quote. I stole it from Andre Dor. But what's important here is data is very complex, and you need somebody good and good tools, powerful, flexible, and scalable tools to be able to manage and make sense of this data for actionable insights. I like this quote of Philip Lahm. I'm not going to read it, you can read it, but thanks so much for joining me today. I hope I was able to give you a good insight, but please feel free to give me a poke if you have any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.